Hello there. This is going to be a bit of an informal video for me, but I thought I might go over my character's inventory for invasions and kind of explain some of the swaps that I like to do. So, let's go ahead and start here. You can kind of treat the Ring Knight Straightsword as the center of the inventory, and then everything around it is a useful swap. Ring Knight Straightsword is kind of my main weapon, and it's useful for lots of reasons, but the weapon art is definitely up there. Let me actually turn on my HUD. Alright, so the weapon art. From there, you have many options. One is going into a charged R2, which can be released on reaction. And roll catch. Another option is the burger flip, which can use either the claymore, need more stamina, or Lorien's greatsword. Both work, both do a burger flip. You can also use if I could get over, use Profane Greatsword or Twin Prince Greatsword. They all work, they all do the same basic thing. That's why Claymore's there. Over here we have the Twin Prince Greatsword, which has a beam attack, and that's pretty useful. It also has a guard break kind of attack with frame 1 hyper armor. Very handy. Again, starting from the Ring Knight Straightsword, if we go to the left, we'll get up to the Lothric Knight Sword, which has a guard break, handy, and it has this hyper armor thrust attack, which can go into a burger flip. Again, all useful. If I get a guard break on a shield, I can also swap to Profaned for Riposte. Yeah. Next up we have the Corbian, which, you know, it's a dagger. It's very fast. You can use it after a trade. The weapon art goes around shields. And starting off the long list of things that I have positioned 5 slots over something else, it is conveniently placed over the split leaf, which can combo into a weapon art. Can also combo into a split leaf infinite if I ever learn how to do that. Alright. Next up we have the dagger. This is extremely useful if I see a backstab opportunity to go for. I can switch to it on the fly and get the backstab. Can also instantly get to dagger for a quick step swap if I need to get out of a hairy situation, and can step swap it into Lido, which I'm starting to get the hang of actually using. Worth mentioning, there's Murky here. It's not really a hard swap per se, but it is there in case I need it. So anyway, with we kind of have that section filled out. Let's go down from the Ring Knight Straightsword to Profaned. That is potentially a step swap from Ring Knight Straightsword, although I don't tend to use it that way. But it is there. Then we have the Heavy Washing Pole, which is a useful chase down weapon. The weapon art R1 is a good roll catch. The parry actually raises your absorption, learned that recently. And it can be used for burger flips with the Lorien Greatsword. Can also be used with Lido, it doesn't actually flip, but it does deal damage, and it takes up a lot less stamina, which is kind of cool. You can just do this all day, as opposed to Lorien's Greatsword, which you can do maybe once as well. This one's a little harder. Yeah, frame 1 poke with Gundyr. Still haven't pulled that one off in combat, but it's supposed to be a really nice catch, like catch someone off guard because it comes out so fast. So waiting on that one. From Washing Pole, we can also go over to Herald, which is an amazing poise trade, deals a ton of damage, and so that's that. The Gru Curb Sword is not really a hard swap, but it is kind of an alternative main weapon. As anyone really knows, it deals a lot of poison. You can buff it with more poison. Just a very effective invasion weapon. Solid damage at 60 strength. Next to Gru, I have the Follower Saber. Below the Follower Saber is a Dragon Slayer Great Axe. So if I get a guard break, I can take a riposte with that. Next to Follower Saber is the Crescent Moon Curved Sword. I never actually use this thing, so the timing is weird. It takes forever. I'm not entirely convinced that this is going to be useful for me ever, especially since I can't even get it. It's just a step. It's just a step swap. There we go. So it kind of comes out faster if you manage to pull that off. However, it doesn't have hyper armor, and the normal attack does have hyper armor. So anyway, I'm debating that. That might change in the future. It's just kind of part of the build at the moment. Twin axes are not really a swap, but they are an extremely effective weapon on a strength build. So I have them in here. Alright. So again, I mentioned the dagger in Toledo swap. And I have 3 of them, and I have 3 Lidos as well. So that's consistent along this path. Let's see, what else? Ah yes, the split leaf. This split leaf can actually go to Gundyr because I have 25 Gundyr still. They're just slightly out of alignment, so I can squeeze more weapons in. The only weapons that don't swap to anything useful 5 ticks down is the Blessed Harp, and, well, the Banded Dagger goes to Split Leaf, so Blessed Harp kind of got the raw end of the stick. Alright. We have all these Gundyrs, a couple of Cestus, Short Bow. Let's go back up to Ring Knight Straight Sword. 2 ticks down, we get to this Melwood Great Bow, which is a very handy swap to have in the Ring City, and it also just trades on reaction with almost every weapon if you get it set up. 1 further tick down, we get to the Iron Round Shield, and then 2 ticks over that is Lido. So basically, this first column of weapons is where all of the swaps are really happening. If I go down here and whiff a parry, I can still swap to Lido. I can then swap to Gundyr. I can swap back to Lido. I can go up to Fire Dagger and get out of there. It's all chained together, pretty much. And it even loops around. You can go from Iron Round Shield up to Fire Dagger, no problem. That is pretty much it for the main hand weapons. I don't really mess with anything else. So now we'll get into the offhand section, which should be a little faster. Obviously we can go up to Filior Chime, either to cast Regen or Tears of Denial. We can go over to Ethereal Oak to regen some HP, Lightning Lothar Ignite Shield to block lightning spells. We can go over to the Dragonhead Shield, which is a handy swap. Great into Parry Kings, because this can't be parried. So that's why I tend to keep it on this build. Now, if we go 2 ticks up, we actually get to the heavy red-hilted halberd. And that's why I have that positioned there for this offhand swap. As well, there's a split leaf, which is maybe an odd choice, but it's there so I can do an offhand stance swap into Warcry. Alright, that buffs up the damage of my Ring Knight Straightsword. The downside is that its R2 no longer works. It does this, which doesn't actually have a hitbox, so it's not actually useful. The damage buff doesn't last a very long time, but it's... I don't know, I feel like it has some potential, especially if I get a backstab. It adds on more damage that way. So yeah, that's all that. Obviously I have all the Boglitch equipment for invasions like Machine Gun and Refill. Refill comes up fairly often, Machine Gun almost never. And that's that for the weapons. Can briefly cover rings. This is a 1-ring swap build, which kind of sucks, but nothing to really do about it. When I go into an invasion, I swap over to Fillionor Chime, cast Tears of Denial, and then drop back down to Black Knight Shield. This is my default setup, but the ring can really go to any number of different spots. I'll use it typically in Sun Princess, Estus Ring, Chloranthy, Hornet, or Leo, although sometimes I will swap it to Shield Ring if I'm in a duel situation. And Night Slayer occasionally. Any ring in here I might use at some point, but for the most part it's going to stick around this section. Now if I need to go into hiding to avoid a gank, I'll drop both of these 2 rings all the way down, and that's why I have these positioned here. So I'll become completely invisible, and there won't be any auras like Tear of Denial or the grass aura. None of that will be there. And it's really nice that these can kind of both be in these columns. It lets me apply them very quickly and remove them very quickly. And obviously I have the Silver Cat swap as well. As far as the armor goes, I have a couple of scripts running. I'm not going to go too in depth on those right now. But basically I am wearing black iron, but this Millwood Knight helm has the stats of Gungear Gauntlets, and the Exile leggings have the stats of Herald leggings. They're very minor stat changes, but it keeps it, within the boundaries of what's possible in game, while still looking kind of stylish. And also, importantly, I'm using the models of Havel Gauntlets and Havel leggings on my screen only. So everyone else sees the Black Iron helmet stacked with the Millwood Knight helmet, the Black Iron armor, and Exile leggings. It's a little complicated, but anyway, that's how my armor and stats work out. These are the items I have equipped, as well as these ones here. Anyway, I hope that was informative for anyone interested in learning about weapon art swaps. It's all very personalized, and you can always change things around to what you want. But the way that I learned was by copying other people. So I thought I'd put this out there. Anyway, everyone have a good day. This, again, kind of an unscripted video. Peace out.